So I needed to make this video. They're shooting heavy electronics devices at me very severely abusing my physical body in total submission. I had someone that was threatening me over the phone, claiming that they were God and you better listen to God, and it was some transgender piece of shit over the phone. I was calling PayPal that was doing this to me, and they were like, it felt like they were watching me when I was in the parking lot, just standing there, trying to find out information about my bank account and why the debit card wasn't working. So, they have heat sensors. They have heat sensors inside this apartment. Very sensitive, highly tech equipment that as soon as they detect that when you get really frustrated or you get really mad, there's a dispersion of heat or coldness, or there's a body reaction that happens that very high-tech gadgets can detect. So what they do is they wait for me and tell me information to see how pissed off I'm going to be. And I don't ever get mad. I just kind of think to myself of all these things. And necessarily I wouldn't be mad. It's just I'm thinking very deeply about things, and then they'll shoot me, and then they'll shoot me, and then they'll shoot me, and then they'll shoot me. And they'll shoot me in my buttocks, my right butt cheek and left butt cheek, like, that bite you in the ass? You see you're getting mad though, right? This is white power. Want to get mad because this is white power? Bite him in the ass again. And they'll keep doing that shit. And so everything I ever do in life, in this apartment or anywhere else, they're always doing that to me and adjusting me to what I like, what I don't like, and what I'm supposed to be angry at and what not. And in the bigger picture of things, it really, all of it is a waste of time, because it is such a loss. It is such a forfeit loss. A defeat. I can't express the defeat. There's no fixing it, because I'm not going to be young again. I got a disease. I got raped. My brother got raped by 10 homosexual men, and the President of the United States kills without question from anybody. And it's a secret organization, the Secret Services, that does these assassinations and killings, and they make it look like an accident, and nobody's ever going to be able to know about this. And that's exactly what they do. But in the circumstances of everything that's going on, for an example, there's a lot of suffering in the United States from a lot of different people. Everything that I've ever owned and ever did for my father didn't count for anything. It was accounted for the president and the people that he sent at me and to attack me, to then adjust me to what portion and how that is digested emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Every form, I don't get to have my own opinion. In these circumstances that it goes on, like, as much as angry and frustration and defeat it is, as much as it is, Roman, to my understanding, is a quadriplegic. And the last time I went to Richard Murphy's house was, to his shop, begging on my knees, was like 6 years ago, 5 years ago. And when I went there, I said, what happened to Roman? He said, oh, he's fine. And I could tell by the way he said something that there was something that happened. Now, if Roman has been a quadriplegic for over 20 years, how many times can you use that coupon? How many times can you use a tragedy of that degree? And you know all this fame and money and everything that's going on. How many times can you get pissed off about that? How many times an angry thing can you go on in life and say, this happened, and this happened, and this happened? That is an internal reason, very deeply, especially someone that's young like that, to be a quadriplegic, and gives everybody the excuse to say, oh, well, we got a Mexican over here we're taking care of, or whatever. Because one of the reasons is also that was brought up to me. That was brought up to me what Roman's ethnicity is. When I was at Caesar's Palace working as a janitor, and someone said something about what country he was from, and I knew that's what they were talking about, Roman. and that he was some sort of he was from some some South America country. I can't remember what it was. Guatemala. Guatemala. It was one of those pretty kind of odd countries, or far deep down in Mexico, or deep to south, near the South America, or in South America. And so I thought it was important for me to talk about, because, you know, as frustrating as it is, when is that going to be used against me? Oh, you know, for the Mexican race or for the white race. It's always going to be for the white race. But when does that get used? Well, if we're not talking about race and we're just talking about tragedy, human being in the circle of all this stuff going on, how does that get played in a role? And that's very sad. It's a tragic beyond anything that can cycle over to drive anybody, to drive them absolutely crazy and mad. But, you know, it is hard to describe the hell and burning torture that I'm going through living in this apartment, of what they're doing to me. They are continuously, non-stop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I'm talking about they'll like shoot me again, and then they'll shoot me again, and then they'll shoot me again, and then they'll shoot, like 7 or 8 different times. And what they'll do is they'll shoot the bottoms of the sides of my kneecaps. They'll shoot the sides and my kneecaps to stay down, you pig, stay down, you piece of shit. And it's to submit my brain and put my brain at a lower state, at a degrading humility state. It's consistently of doing that. Now, that's, to my understanding, it doesn't do anything good. It's to control me. So when they don't like something, to shoot them in the knee, okay, now bend over, now fuck them in the ass, and they'll shoot an electronic device, and it'll penetrate my rectum like it's raping me. And what that does to the human brain is nothing good to my understanding to it. But this is all because the psychologists and the torture of the homosexuals and whatever the president is ordering against me. But if I have, you know, I don't have anything to say other than it's hard to describe this defeat in a way that, because there's so many people that hate me, and so many people, like, I really truly believe that a lot of people would have tried to kill themselves. There's no way that you'd be in my position. I know most of the people that I believe that would have been in my situation would have tried to commit suicide. And I think some of them would have gone overboard committing suicide by, like, jumping off a fucking bridge or jumping in front of a fucking highway in front of a car and killing themselves. Because you have so many people that hate you and torture you, and you have nothing to think of life. Because what these psychology burning torture that they're doing to me, it is such a degree of torture that it's hard to describe that why you wouldn't want to kill somebody and kill these motherfuckers that are responsible for doing this to me, or doing this to a person, like they did in Auschwitz. Like, because it is, to them, they only see me as a worthless piece of meat, a worthless piece of shit, that they can just shoot an electronic device and get it to do and give it an understanding to how things they have. There's nothing they lose, nothing they're wrong at. It's the same way like they're in the battlefields killing an Al-Qaeda member or killing Osama bin Laden. They have to do it because it's necessary for white American flag and the government and the President of the United States, and they don't think of anything. I think that it is the military, the U.S. military, that is trained psychologist or whatever it is that it's in there that's doing this to me. That's who I think it's doing this to me. Because it's happening on the planes, it's happening in the government houses that I went to, and every place that I'm going to. But it is hard to describe this defeat because they won't let me defend or protect myself or say anything. My mother's twin is a fucking worthless, like a fucking bitch. A fucking nearly the same pig as Ken Cooper. I'm telling you, is as smart as a bag of rocks and just throwing them at me. She doesn't get, let me tell you how my mother is. If I know my mother, I definitely know what this bitch is going to do. Now, my mother has dementia and has brain problems and is tormented. My mother's very compassionate. This bitch, this piece of shit is not. Whatever she's being told to do and what she's willing to do is because she just wants to survive and do anything at the guttering cost of the way that little girl got disposed of in the trash can for my mom's survival and future outcome. This person doesn't give a goddamn fuck about my life. And she's not willing to retaliate or defend me about or believe anything I have to say. I personally don't blame my mother. But I know that my mother's only as smart as a bag of rocks. She will dispose of me when needed because she's not in any good a mental state. Her twin is in a better mental state to take care of herself, but her intelligence is I don't care, get rid of Hector, I don't give a shit. She does not understand the magnitude. She is doing everything what these people are telling her to do. Everything. I begin to get threats by dozens of people all the time over the phone, at grocery stores, everywhere I go, they're threatening me. And they're going after her twin in order to control my mother because she can't take care of herself. And because she's all fucked up, you have $50,000, all these rapes, and they want to help protect and swindle everything. This is all about Ken and Sarah Cooper and white supremacy and the Cooper family. The white supremacists, everybody that's white is only for them. That's all that it is. It's only for them. And they're working in SWAT teams for all the homosexuals and transgenders are all working in teams, all to plow against me, all at the same fucking time. I cannot walk through the grocery store without 10 people all simultaneously looking at me like they're all lions and I'm like they're all hyenas attacking me. Like parasites, like fucking maggots consuming a dead corpse. Like just wanting to consume, break, and devour and just use me for resources and change it for the spirit of Ken Cooper and white power and the transgenders of President Barack Obama's daughter and all this guttering shit. Now, I cannot say, bring cameras, enough about what's happening, but I can't walk anywhere without that happening. Nowhere. I'm telling you, their intentions is so vengeful. You can feel the darkness of vibes. You can feel the radiant rage that each one of these people have, and their motives they're so motivated. Like they're physically moving fast and they're physically expressing that they have so much motivation to go after me, and every mental psychological torment tool that they want to come at me with is exactly why. Now, I'm my mother's only defense. Like I said, I know my mother. My mother's twin is not my mother. And she has been guttering me out unbelievably like a fucking worthless fucking animal piece of shit. And saying the most disgusting fucking things you can fucking imagine. And when I say something, ever, and I don't ever say anything that even come close, there's 10 people that call me on the phone and begin threatening me. I go to the grocery stores, they begin threatening me. I talk to the management here at this apartment, they begin threatening me, act like my mother, and talking about my dad's money and my sister's death. It's a non-stop thing that they're constantly doing. But as far as I have any say with it, they should have never allowed my mother's identical twin to take over everything and erase my mother. This was for Sarah and Ken and their family. Kenneth Cooper at the radio station is the sole soldier and attacker that did this. Because he was around me and he cornered me and he pitted me. And using the police officers against me. I haven't told you stories when I was inside jail, what they were doing to me and how they were protecting and talking about Kenneth and saying that they needed to protect him. It was so fucked up what was going on. You don't know none about those stories. So I thought I'd say this. They're beating the fuck out of me here at this apartment, beating the shit out of me. Making me shit, shooting me outside. I have to go shit outside. It's fucking crazy of the beatings that they're doing to me nonstop, and all the different sensors they have in this apartment.